The next day, Angela sat at her desk, staring blankly at her laptop screen. The sunlight streaming through the windows did little to brighten her mood. Her thoughts were elsewhere, swirling with memories of last night. "Angela!" Mabel's voice cut sharply through the silence. Angela snapped her head up, startled. "Huh? What?" Mabel stood at the door, arms crossed, concern etched across her face. "What's going on with you?" Angela's lips trembled as tears welled in her eyes. She broke down, burying her face in her hands. Mabel quickly walked over, grabbing her hand. Hey, what's wrong? Talk to me." Through her tears, Angela managed to choke out, "Why can't I just have a normal life? Enough money to take care of myself, a loving relationship with trust and respect? Is that too much to ask?" Mabel sighed deeply. "No, Angie, it's not. Did you catch him again?" Angela nodded, her tears falling freely. "Yes. This time, it's with his secretary." Mabel's face twisted in anger. "Damn that he-goat," she muttered under her breath. She crouched down next to Angela's chair, her voice firm but compassionate. "Listen, I know you won't like this, but I have to say it. It's time to end this relationship before it destroys you." Angela shook her head, her voice barely audible. "It's not that easy, Mabel. You know I love him. And his involvement in this company, I wouldn't even be here without his help." Mabel's expression hardened. "That's just an excuse you've made to stay in his shadow. Angela, you hired him, just like you hired the rest of us, and you paid him for his work. You don't owe him your happiness. Don't let guilt keep you chained to someone who doesn't respect you." A knock on the door interrupted them. Both women turned as Kevin cautiously peeked in, holding a folder. Bad timing," he said, sensing the tension. "I'll come back later." He closed the door before either could respond. Mabel turned back to Angela, her voice soft but firm. "Look around you, Angie. You've built something amazing. There are people here who genuinely care about you. You're humble, loyal, and kind, qualities most women in your position would toss aside. But Tommy? He's taking advantage of that. This is the 10th time he's cheated on you." 9, Angela corrected quietly, wiping her tears. Mabel's jaw dropped. "Oh my gosh, are you seriously defending him right now? What difference does it make? Cheating is cheating." Angela opened her mouth to respond, but Mabel cut her off. "I know you won't take my advice. You never do. But as your friend, I'll keep saying it. Leave him before he drags you down any further." Mabel stood and started for the door. Angela reached out weakly. "I'm not defending him, Mabel. It's just—" "Save it, Angela," Mabel said, her tone sharp as she shut the door behind her. Mabel's plan. Out in the hallway, Mabel leaned against the wall, exhaling deeply. After a moment, she pulled out her phone and sent a quick message. Seconds later, Kevin appeared. "You called?" Mabel gestured for him to follow her into her office. She shut the door behind them, her face serious. "Kevin, I need to ask you something personal, and I need your promise that this stays between us." Kevin raised an eyebrow. "I don't talk much, so you can trust me." Mabel nodded, hesitating briefly before continuing. "Do you like Angela? I mean, really like her? Do you see a future with her if things work out?" Kevin looked taken aback. "That's a surprising question." "I know it sounds crazy," Mabel said quickly, "but I need to help a friend. And Angela, she's sinking, Kevin. She doesn't even see it." Kevin's expression softened, and after a moment, he nodded. "Yes, I like her a lot. It's not about her success or her position. What I feel for her is real, and I'll keep proving that to her." Mabel smiled faintly. "You're a good man, Kevin. I don't know if what I'm about to say is right or wrong, but I need you to push harder. Make her see how much you care. I'll help you, but you have to promise not to give up. Tommy is destroying her life, and she needs someone who actually loves her." Kevin stayed silent, processing her words. Promise me, Kevin, Mabel urged. I know men have egos, and chasing someone who doesn't seem to notice you can be hard, but Angela is worth it. Please don't give up on her. Kevin met her eyes, his resolve clear. I promise. Mabel sighed in relief. Thank you. I'll do what I can to help her see your worth. Just keep being the good man you already are. Kevin nodded, a mix of determination and hope flickering in his expression. Back in her office, Angela stared at the picture on her desk, her thoughts a whirlwind of pain, guilt, and confusion. Mabel watched Kevin leave her office, her jaw set with determination. It's time to make things right, she muttered to herself. The stage was set, and the storm brewing around Angela was about to come to a head. The next morning, Angela pulled up to Michael's school and parked the car. Michael unbuckled his seatbelt, his usual cheerful self. Have a great day, honey, Angela said, kissing his forehead. Bye, Mom. Michael waved as he ran toward the school building. Angela exhaled, gripping her steering wheel tightly. Her mind raced with unresolved emotions from the previous day. She picked up her phone and called Tommy. He answered on the second ring. Hey. Tommy, I need to talk to you today, Angela said, her voice firm. Tommy's response was casual. I've been meaning to talk to you too. Let's meet later. Before Angela could reply, he hung up. Her grip on the phone tightened. You're the one who cheated and you're hanging up on me? No, I'm not waiting. I'll go to his house now. Angela reversed the car and drove straight to Tommy's house, her heart pounding. At Tommy's house. Pulling up outside, Angela noticed 2 cars parked in the driveway, Tommy's and another unfamiliar one. What's going on? She muttered to herself. I hope this isn't what I think it is. Knowing the gate code, Angela punched it in and entered. The house was eerily quiet as she stepped inside. She glanced around the sitting room. No one. Her gaze shifted to the stairs, and she instinctively began climbing. With every step, her anger bubbled higher. Reaching Tommy's bedroom, she pushed the door open. The sight before her made her freeze. Tommy was in bed with another woman. Tommy? Angela's voice rang out, filled with shock and betrayal. What is this? Yesterday, it was your secretary. Today, someone else? No, I can't do this anymore. She slammed the door and stormed out, her heels echoing against the hardwood floor. In the bedroom, the woman sat up, startled. Who was that? Tommy waved dismissively. My crazy ex-girlfriend I told you about. The woman frowned. Your ex still has your house codes? Tommy rubbed his temples. I forgot to change them. I'll do it. Please do, the woman said, her voice dripping with annoyance. This is embarrassing. Angela at home. Angela didn't go to work. Instead, she went straight home, tossing her purse aside as she collapsed onto her bed. The weight of her heartbreak was unbearable, and she sobbed into her pillow. Her phone rang. It was Mabel. Angela hesitated, then answered. Mab. Her voice cracked. He did it again. Mabel sounded confused. Who did what? Tommy, Angela said, choking on her words. I caught him cheating again, this time at his house. Mabel's tone turned sharp. Are you kidding me? Was it the same secretary? No, Angela replied bitterly. A completely different woman. 2 women in 24 hours, Mabel. I think that man's thing needs to be removed. Oh, Angie, Mabel's voice softened. Do you want me to come over? Angela shook her head, even though Mabel couldn't see her. No, I'll be fine. Just handle things at work in my absence. Before Mabel could protest, Angela hung up and buried her face in her hands. Back at the office, Mabel sat at her desk, lost in thought. Her frustration was evident. Kevin knocked and entered, holding a file. He noticed her distant expression. Hey, is everything okay? Mabel sighed heavily. What is wrong with men? Why can't they just keep it zipped up? Kevin raised an eyebrow, taken aback. Whoa, what are you talking about? Who's not zipping up? Tommy, Mabel said, her voice laced with anger. He cheated again. 2 women in 24 hours. Kevin leaned against the desk, his expression serious. And that's why you're asking why men can't zip up? Do you judge all of us the same way, Mabel? I didn't think you were that kind of person. Mabel blinked, realizing her words. I'm sorry, Kevin. I didn't mean it like that. It's just... It hurts to watch someone as good as Angela suffer because of the love she has for that man. Kevin nodded, his tone calm. I understand. So where is she now? She's at home, Mabel said. She's not coming in today. We'll have to handle everything here. Kevin nodded and placed the file on her desk. This needs your input. Let me know what I should do. They shifted into work mode, but Mabel's mind remained clouded with worry for Angela. At home, Angela lay staring at the ceiling, her heart heavy with pain and doubt. Meanwhile, Tommy sat at his office desk, scrolling through his phone with a smirk. In her office, Mabel watched Kevin leave with the file, determination flickering in her eyes. She whispered to herself, "This can't go on. Something has to change." And far away, Angela's phone buzzed with a text from Tommy. "We need to talk." Angela stared at the screen, her hand trembling. "Not this time," she whispered. But deep down, she knew the battle wasn't over. The confrontation. Angela lay on her bed, her pillow soaked with tears. The knock on her door startled her, but before she could respond, Tommy pushed it open and stepped inside. "Angela," he said softly, moving toward her. She sat up, her face streaked with tears. "I told you I didn't want to see you." Tommy ignored her protest and sat on the edge of the bed, reaching for her hand. "Baby, yesterday was a mistake. I was angry and confused." Angela yanked her hand away. "A mistake? You were with your secretary one day, and the next, another woman in your house. How is that a mistake?" Tommy sighed, his tone calculated and calm. "I thought you were getting too close to Kevin. It made me jealous. I wasn't thinking straight. My secretary tried to cheer me up, and one thing led to another." Angela glared at him. "And the woman today?" Tommy straightened up, his voice lowering. "She's a client. I've been trying to bring her on board because her family runs one of the largest tech firms. If we manage their websites and applications, it will be our biggest deal ever. I've been negotiating with her for weeks, but..." He paused, his gaze dropping. "She said she wouldn't sign unless I gave her what she wanted. I refused at first, but this morning, she told me she was walking away. I did it for us, for the company. Don't you see, Angela? I'm doing everything for you." Angela's voice cracked as she spoke. "You're making this sound like it's my fault." "No, my love," Tommy said quickly, leaning closer. "I take full responsibility. I made a mistake, but please look at this." He handed her a document. "It's the pre-contract. In 3 months, their current deal expires, and we'll take over. This will change everything for us." Angela stared at the paper, her hands trembling. "I appreciate all you've done for me, but our happiness should come first, Tommy. I can't stand the cheating, whether it's for business or not." Tommy cupped her face. "I promise, baby. No more. I'll prove my love to you. I'll even fire my secretary if that's what it takes." Angela's resolve faltered as he leaned in and kissed her. "Tommy," she whispered softly. "I know you want me," he murmured, pushing her gently back onto the bed. "And climb up. He will open her chest and bring out her beautiful oranges and start licking them. Angela will gasp. They'll remove their clothes fast, and Tommy will start giving it to her. Angela will raise her 2 legs up and continue moaning, holding the blanket tightly." The interruption. As they tangled in each other's arms, Angela's phone rang. She groped for it blindly, finally answering. "Hello? Oh, yeah. Please don't stop. Yeah. Mabel's sharp voice cut through. "Don't tell me Tommy's there." "It's not what you think," Angela said quickly, her breath uneven. "Let's talk later." This is madness, Angela. No one can save you from yourself, Mabel snapped before hanging up. Angela sighed, letting the phone drop onto the bed. She turned back to Tommy, who smirked knowingly. Who was that? Mabel, Angela said flatly. She knows about what happened? Tommy asked, stepping out of the bathroom after freshening up. Angela shrugged. Mabel knows everything. She's been my rock through everything. Tommy's expression darkened. I don't like it. She acts like you owe her your life just because she helped you once. She carries herself like she owns the company. Angela frowned. What are you saying? I think it's time to make some changes, Tommy said firmly. If we're going to build a future together, you need to start cutting out the distractions. Are you going to value her opinions over mine when we're married? Of course not, Angela replied hesitantly. Then fire her, Tommy pressed. Show her who's in charge. Angela stood abruptly, heading for the bathroom. Let's not ruin this moment, Tommy. I'm not firing Mabel. As the bathroom door closed, Tommy leaned back on the bed, his eyes narrowing. Game day Saturday came, and Kevin rang Angela's doorbell. She greeted him with a warm smile. Good morning, Kevin said, stepping inside. Morning, come in, Angela said, calling upstairs. Mickey, Kevin's here. Michael came bounding down the stairs, beaming. Uncle Kevin, he shouted, running to hug him. Kevin chuckled, ruffling the boy's hair. Good to see you too, champ. Angela gestured toward the sitting room. The space is all yours. Have fun with your game. Can I get you anything, Kevin? No, thank you. Maybe later, Kevin replied. All right, I'll be upstairs if you need me, Angela said, her smile fading slightly as she left. Kevin couldn't shake the feeling that something was off, but he pushed it aside as Michael dragged him to the couch to start the game. They played for a while, laughter filling the room, until they heard footsteps on the stairs. Kevin glanced up, expecting Angela, but froze when he saw Tommy descending instead. Tommy's mocking smile sent a chill through the air. Michael, Hay said smoothly, I forgot my phone in your mother's room. Could you grab it for me? Michael frowned, clearly annoyed, but climbed the stairs without a word. Kevin greeted Tommy politely. Good morning. Tommy's smirk deepened. I know what you're trying to do, Mr. Man. You think you can steal my woman? Kevin frowned. I don't know what you're talking about. Tommy leaned closer. Oh, don't play innocent. You can dream all you want, but Angela will always be mine. She's been mine and will always come back to me, no matter what I do. If you really love her, you wouldn't hurt her, Kevin said, his voice firm. Tommy laughed darkly. That's my life, and it's none of your business. Let me give you some advice. Stay out of our affairs if you still value your job. Kevin's fists clenched, but he kept his voice steady. Hurting her doesn't make you a man. It makes you a coward. Tommy sneered. Call me whatever you want. Just know she'll always choose me. I'll leave you with that thought. Michael returned. Mom said you already took it. Tommy waved dismissively. Don't worry about it, son. Michael scowled. I'm not your son, he muttered under his breath as Tommy walked out. Kevin smiled faintly. Let's get back to the game, champ. As they played, Kevin couldn't help but feel the tension tightening around him. The storm was far from over, and he knew the fight for Angela's happiness had only just begun. Hi everyone, hope you're enjoying the story. While you wait for the next episode, check out Lesbian's Adventure, Inside Girls Hostel, on our second channel, Reality Love Tales. Find the link in the comments section and don't forget to subscribe.